What is going on, everybody? It's the France, and we're here with something very special for Elestrals. I figured maybe I should do something. And I was like, why don't we start reacting to the Daybreak reveals? I know Daybreak's been going on for a minute, the reveals for the last few week or so. So I'm going to react to this. We have the Ultimate Frost cards are coming in, and then I'm going to go over the cards that we've seen so far, and we'll go from there. Let's see what Mr. Dan has got to say right now.
We've got one of the coolest reveals we've ever done as we are revealing 6 new Frost Celestial
Whoa,
cards.
wait a minute. Why is that so fuzzy? Hold on. Why is it auto? I hate auto. 360 should be fine.
Right here, right now, as we count down 25 days until Daybreak pre-orders open. I'm
Okay,
not
what we
lying to
got
you.
here?
Get ready, Frostcasters. It's about to be crazy.
Who loves their
But before I
frost?
get to that, do not forget we've got that free shipping discount for Shattered
Yeah, get your
Dimensions.
free shipping in,
So make
guys.
sure you guys take advantage of that, as
Good
today's the
until,
last day to do it
yeah.
if you want to get that free shipping.
This is annoying. I need to adjust. There we go. So what we got here?
All right, first up, we've got a new Elestral called Rhynymph. This is the
Rhinymph.
advanced form of Spynymph.
Wow, it doesn't even. Wow. You can expend in order to move your Rhinymph to your Ruin row. It becomes an artifact ruin empowering an Celestial of your choice. With the effect, the empowered Celestial is suppressed and gets -1. Is that 1? Yeah. -2, I'm sorry. -2 defense, which is very interesting. So, basically, any Celestial that that's in defense position, that would be a great counter for a Astrabbit, because if you have a Celestial that's a 4 attack, you can drop it to 3 defense, so you can be able to crash into it and destroy it. I think that's pretty good.
Earth Elestral. It is a one attacker with 5 defense with a very unique
Beautiful
passive
looking.
effect. You can expend a Frost Spirit to move your Rhynymph from your Elestral row to your Rune row. You don't have to enchant it again, you just move it to that row. It then becomes an artifact rune empowering an Elestral of your choice, so it can be any Elestral on the field, yours or an opponent's, and it has the effect the empowered Elestral is suppressed and gets -2 defense. So you can cast your Rhynymph out, expend a spirit, move it to your Rune row, empower something, drop its defense by 2, and then ultimately suppress it and turn off its effect. This may not seem all that crazy in itself. It is a new
Yeah.
tool for Frost, and it can do some work, but it's real.
But the fact that you can suppress can also counter, like, Sonic Core. It can counter Sonic Core's, so you can suppress Sonic Core's effects, so counter ruins can be played. You can suppress. Yeah, that's very interesting. That's the one I can think of the most of, like Sonic Core or Leonite, who's the fire version of Sonic Core, except it doesn't do counters, it does invoke ruins. You can suppress those by doing that. That's pretty good.
Bread and butter is showing off its ascension. One of the coolest designs we've done, Rhino Sect. I am so pumped about it.
Wow, that looks beefy. It's an 8/5. How many Lestros had at the 2 cost Dave have 8? I think 7's most. It's usually it's like 4 to 7. Sonic Set can be special cast from your hand if you have a card that is originally an Celestial in your Rune row. You can target and destroy an empowered Celestial. You can do this with Spine Nymph as well, because like honestly, that's so if you could use the Rhino Sim or Spine Nymph, because if somebody destroys Spine Nymph, it goes into your Ruin section to become. So that's interesting. So not just its pre-evolution, also the fact that you can also use Spine Nymph as well to get Rhino Sect on the field.
About Rhino Sect. It is an 8 attacker
That's a big
against
attack.
2 cost Frost. This Rhino Sect can be special cast from your hand if you have a card that is originally an Elestral in your Rune row.
There's actually a
So if
third one.
Rhynymph ends up in your Rune row, or Spynymph or Arrowmare,
That's what I was
both
thinking
of
of,
those
Arrowmare
cards
too.
end up in your Rune row.
So you have 3 Elestrals that you can do this with: Spine Nymph, Rhino Nymph, and Arrowmare. Because Arrowmare, if you ascend it up to Glidesdale, you put it down and it becomes a rune for Glidesdale. It allows it to attack twice in one turn. Very good.
You can just special cast this 8 attacker 2-drop from your hand.
My
And
goodness.
then you can target and destroy an empowered Elestral. So if your opponent is
Wow.
empowering their Elestral, you can just destroy them right out the gates, or you can use your brand new 1-cost Bow of Apollo to empower them and ultimately destroy them with Rhino Sect as well. An absolute beast of an Elestral, and I cannot wait to see what you
Very interesting.
only going to get better over time, and I think Rhinosect is going to make a big splash in Daybreak. But this next Elestral might elevate to an entirely different level, a new playstyle for Frost to really enhance some different capabilities,
Well,
and that
playstyles.
is Broomalinx. Broomalinx is a Frost type
Dude,
Broomalinx, and it's
look at that Nexus though. Why does it keep doing that? I don't know. You can Nexus up to 2 Frost. When you do, you can target a non-stadium ruin. If it is faced up, turn it face down, then that ruin cannot be cast as long as this Bruno Lynx is enchanted. Its enchanting spirits are sent to the underworld. Wow. So you can't affect stadiums, which is fine because you can't put stadiums face down. That's why that's in that effect right there. But that's basically for like a hammer of a fastest, any of the artifacts or divine ruins. So if somebody has a Zeus out there and you play this, then the Zeus has to be put face down. Say you have 4 spirits on top of Zeus, you force them to put it face down, and they lose 4 spirits to their spirit to their underworld because of Brunelix, and you can't bring that back up. Especially since it's a 5 cost defense, you're obviously gonna play this in defense 9 times out of 10. That and that's crazy. That right there is going. That's a Zeus Nexus counter, a Sparkit Nexus, obviously. That would definitely change Voltempest up because that's a counter to Voltempest for sure. Because you put this down, you then send because Voltempest second ability, you have to have Zeus empowered to be able to make it pretty broken. But with Brunelix right here, you play this in the fence position, you send that Zeus face down, then the secondary effect of Voltempest is null and void, and then you can destroy it any which way you want. So I really like that.
incredible stats with 3 attack and 5 defense, 1 cost Frost, and it does have a new Nexus effect for Frost Elestrals. You can Nexus up to 2 Frost Spirits. When you do, you can target a non-stadium rune, so that's any rune on the field that's not a stadium. If it's face up, you turn it face down, and all of the spirits on it go to the underworld. That rune cannot be cast as long as this Broomalinx is
Wow.
enchanted. This means you can target your opponent's divine runes, flip them face down, have them lose all their spirits, and be locked in place until they deal with this threat that
That is a very scary thing to think about because you're like somebody plays Zeus and you're doing Sparkit Nexus and you have Zeus on the field and you Sparkit Nexus that first time and did it, and there's still 3 spirits on Zeus. So you had 4 spirits on Zeus. So you have 3 still on Zeus. You put it up. You put Zeus face down, and they lose those 3 spirits. And of course, as we know in Elestrals, Spirit Bank, like the spirits, are everything: mana, health, HP, everything. And to lose 3 to 4 spirits, like if you were playing Aeolus and you have 4, because you can do up to 4, so that's 5 under Aeolus and someone comes in and plays Brunelix and makes you flip down, that's 4 to 5 spirits you're going to lose to your underworld. That is definitely going to be a good card for any Frostcaster. That's going to be a card you're going to want to have in your possession.
or you can simply lock down a face down rune that's already face down and prevent it from being cast.
Okay, that's interesting.
Elestral is awesome. I am
Yes,
so
it
high on
is.
Broomalinx, and I think it's going to open the door for new strategies in Frost, some more defensive strategies that kind of lean away from the core focus of Frost up to this point, which has been more Frost. And speaking of more Frost, I've actually got a brand new more
The
Frost
bat.
to reveal today too, and that is more Frost bat form.
Actually, if you look in the how to play guide that came with Frostfall, there is actually a spot in here that has every Morphrost that is available plus the bat. So, yeah, right there. You have all the Morphrost that have been shown off, including the bat. So, very interesting that before Daybreak was even revealed, they had a Daybreak Celestial in the starter deck. How to play guide. When the Morphrost is discarded from you can special cast a Morphrost that is not that form from your underworld. Okay, that's a card that you're not gonna play. You're just gonna discard it.
That's right. This form was actually leaked in our How to Play guide.
Say,
So
told
those of
you.
us who read it, Frostfall How to Play guide, Morfrost bat form was in there as a little teaser. This is gonna make Morfrost so much better. When this
I don't know about
Morfrost
that.
bat is discarded, you can special cast a Morfrost that is not bat form from your underworld. You can play this alongside Morfrost Terror to find
Interesting.
incredible Frost bat form being searchable by Lycan is huge. You can
Yeah.
use that in your underworld with Kione. I think this card is going to be nuts for more Frost, getting a resurgence.
He definitely wants to make more Frost be a major strategy for the entire thing.
We are not done. I'm still going. We
What
have
else we got?
Elestral that is Holzer.
Holzer
Also,
get get +1 attack for each Frost Celestial in your underworld. This effect cannot increase the pulsers by more than +5. So it would go up to 7 is the highest it can go. But that is a scary looking card right there. That is a scary looking card. The bones like crossed on its chest, the like bones coming off. Like this thing looks like a fun. This looks like a boss. Like would be like a boss character in a video game.
teased and leaked in a previous card art
Not
leak
a final boss, but like a boss.
Panzer from Frostfall. It was indeed facing off against Upholzer, which is a
Oh
big
wow.
attacker with 2 defense with a crazy effect, similar to Cryoling in a way. This Polzer gets +1 attack for each Frost Elestral in your underworld. This effect cannot increase this Polzer's attack by more than +5. So that means for every Frost Elestral that is in your underworld, this thing gets buffed up even further and can get buffed up to 7, but there's no drawback if you have more Elestrals in it. So you can do self-mill with Polzer, Morolith, Avalanche, and send all of your Elestrals to the underworld, or use this as a late-game buff for your Morfrost deck, because Morfrost relies so heavily on Abominable form.
I don't know,
You
man.
can also throw a Polzer in there and have even more power. Lots of potential for Frost decks here in Daybreak. Now, obviously, I'm saving the best for last.
So what we got here?
One additional card to reveal for Frost, and this card is Chef's Kiss. So strong. Not only is it a card that you're going to see utilized in Frost decks, but I think this is a card that's going to be splashed in other decks as well, and that is Cryoblast.
Cryoblast.
Is a
You target an Celestial that is not Frost Enchanted until the end phase. Give it -1 defense, and when that Celestial has 0 defense, you must destroy it. Okay, so it's -2 defense.
new invoke rune that only costs 1 Frost. You can target an Elestral that is not Frost Enchanted, and until the end phase, you give it -2 defense. And when that Elestral has 0 defense, you must destroy it. What this does is you
I don't know.
you drop an Elestral's defense by 2. If they only had 2 defense to start and they go to 0, they're gone. You destroy them right away. If they have more than 2 defense and you drop their defense stat by 2, you can then use other cards like Frostmite or Zeus to drop their defense even further and ultimately destroy them. Cryoblast serves as incredible Elestral mover for many of those high attack Elestrals like attackers
Okay.
like Nekruff and Lumaru, who we revealed recently, as they generally have low defense stats, so Cryoblast can pick them.
Yeah, that's definitely a tough one.
An incredible removal tool for more Frost and all Frost decks alike, as well as, again, splashable in other decks. I think Cryoblast is going to be pretty big in Daybreak. 6 brand new Frost cards.
Frost getting a buff for sure. Definitely going to be interesting to see where it goes. But Ruinlix, the Equilix Nexus is definitely the hit for this as well, because that is going to be a major counter to a couple effects that people like. A couple of the plays with your Divine Ruins, like Zeus or Aeolus or Demeter or any of these other ones that like you need to have your Divine on the field. You drop this one down in defense position, you Nexus one time, and you send that thing, flip it upside down, and you nullify somebody's strategy for a good while, because this is a 5 defense, and if you're able to keep your opponent from getting anything on the field that is like at 6 or more, which is very few, if any, one cost, then things will be. It's gonna make the game a lot more interesting for the Frost type, and for any game like strategy. You might not be a Frost caster, and maybe you know somebody's a Thunder Nexus. You want to just get one Frost, like you want to put a couple Frost in your Spirit deck, and you want to get like 2 of these into your deck just to play counter to Thunder Nexus, or I do Fire Nexus with Kinleo, and I use most of the time I use Hephaestus and Hammer to be able to buff up my Kinleo to keep it from being easily targeted. So if you take away that the Hephaestus while the hammer's up, I could be targeted by effects then, or get taken down a lot easier. So, and again, it's gonna make sure like this one's definitely a divine counter. That, Polter looks awesome. Cryoblast would be very interesting because it's a one cost frost, and anybody could just go, you know what? Let me just get one or two frost in here, get two of these, and change my game up. The Spinosect, and Spinnymph, Rhino Nymph, and Rhinosect, those ones would be very interesting as well. But let's get into what we see so far with Daybreak, as we're gonna come over here, and I'm only doing it this time with the looking at cards because I haven't like done any of these yet. We have Jatura, which we saw if you watch too many games, you actually got to see what its Stellar is gonna look like when it gets to the Solar packs coming up. Lustragon, nothing like really. I'm not really getting to the Solar thing. Solar's got a lot of Nexuses. I see they got a lot of Nexus coming. Like they have like 4 or 5 cards that can Nexus. I mean, Lustragon can Duchaya can Nexus. Jatura can Nexus. Then you got Sundial, which is the first evolution, the first form of the first starter deck. We still don't know what the second starter deck is yet, so I'm really holding out that it's going to be something interesting. We got Gomadial, and we got Chronodial, which is a beefy looking monster. I will tell you that right now. Water, which I'm really surprised it's not Solar, Water, like Cryo, Scorching, and Parawatt are Frost, Fire, and Electric. This one's Water, Solar. I don't understand why it's mostly predominantly water. Then you got Glimbat, which of course is a nexus of Boombat. You got Novacore, the nexus of Sonicore. Both are hollow. Surprise, surprise. Love myself a good old Sonicore play every once in a while. Nebuleo, which is a nexus of Kinleo, but it's not a nexus card. It's a gets +1 for each enchanting on the field. So, and it does look like Nova from Marvel Comics with the cross in the head above its head, which is pretty cool. You got Leobright, which is with this whole foretell, which foretelling is going to be very interesting. It is a new gimmick for like the solar, because let's see, Frost has Underworld play. Fire has Burn and Mill. Water has Recovery. They have ways to recover. Earth, not really sure what Earth has exactly. And of course, Thunder is like it's predominantly Nexus based. And then you got Celesteela, who is the face of this entire brand right now for Daybreak. He's the one you see on the front when you look at Daybreak. And he's a good old foretelling anyway. I hate when it does that. Then you got Peergleam, P-Gust Elestral. Peergleam seems one or more solar. You can target an Elestral and set its base stat to 0 until the end phase, which is really good because basically Peergleam goes out there and goes, you know what, I'm gonna, and like this would be fun. This would be a fun combination if you would have Peergleam and the Aquilnix Nexus, which it's really hard to say its name, and you have that one down in a 5 attacker, and somehow prevented a or it was still available the next turn after you Nexus to be able to prevent like a what is it Full Tempest from like destroying that, and it's still on the next turn, and of course your Zeus is face down, so it can't be used anymore. So the secondary effect of Voltempest is null and void. You bring Peergleam out, you target the Voltempest, put its attack to 0, and then you kill it with a Peergleam. That would be funny. You got Pharaohs, which is a heck of a name. Lumaru, which they brought a bunch of mill in yesterday, and I'm like thinking, I had mill in my card deck with Humbust and Cinder to do mill, but I recently took those out to add a couple other cards in for myself. And then he starts bringing out these things with Lumaru and Rubinus, which are 2 kangaroos. They look pretty cool and everything. One is solar, the other is solar as well, double solar. And then you get Sobel, which very cute little cow. That is really awesome. You got Soul Bell and Soul Stalks, which special cast with chanted up to 2 from your underworld to your field, bringing a little underworld play to the solar brand. Don't know what 125 is, 26, 27. Then we got Corvus Shine, which is a very good looking one. You got Plucky, which isn't a nexus of anything that I can think of. When you normal cast this Plucky, you can search your deck for a Divine Ruin and add it to your hand. So that is Elestrals ability, basically. Yeah, Elestrals ability. And then you got Exaltus, which I think Exaltair is gonna get a Nexus in every of elements eventually, because you got this one, you got the Exalt Flare. So I think Exaltus is gonna get one. Like Exaltair is gonna have a Nexus in every single one of them. This is again a Nexus one. This is like the 3rd or 4th Nexus we've seen so far. You got Promo, a very big ability. Helilith, which is one of the liths, which we have. I think there's gonna be like what 1 or 2 liths left when we get to Nightfall, whatever it's called. They should just call it Nightfall. Mudlet, which is a cute little one, which comes to Cryosaur. Cryosbor. The nexuses of Sorlet and Cryosaur. Boltuga, which is Moltuga's Nexus, and Vesavituga, which is a very hard name to say. 2 cost Celestial, expend, force your opponent to expend 2, which is another mill. When a player casts Eruption, you can return up to 2 to Earth to your deck, to your Spirit deck, which is very interesting way to burn. You burn them for 2, you play that, and then you get another 2. Barabib, and a reprint of Barabog, which... Does anyone actually use Barabog? I really like to know that. I could not tell you off the top of my head if anyone actually uses Barabog. Don't know what 41 is. Don't know what 42, 43, 44. We got Humbus reprinted as well with 2 Humbus just sitting there. Always cool to see that. Humburst, which is an Ascension for it, which is pretty cool. Disenchant 1 and 2. So basically it's just like kaboom. Instead of the top 6 cards from the deck to the underworld, which is that's crazy. If you somehow were able, like, it would be very interesting that, because I'm sure you can't disenchant all, like, if you would have had 2 solar, 2 fire on a Humber somehow, some way, I don't think you could disenchant all 4 at the same time, can you, to get them to mill 12 off the top of your deck, on top of the deck. I'm not sure about that. Don't know what 47 is, 48, 49. Then we got Costa which is the water lith. Which I really like these lith things. You get the normal cast them with 2 cost. If an opponent has something is like helping the opponent or something is going the opponent's way, you go, okay, well you have this going on. Let me just put this down because I have it in my hand. I do not have a lava lith and I kind of need it. Larvacell, which we do know what its cellar looks like in Nexus. It's very interesting that this is a 1-cost Thunder Spirit, but you can do Thunder and Solar Nexus. So again, this is another Solar Nexus, which Solar Nexus has multiple ways to Nexus. Anacell, Expend, and then you got Phosphorocell. Can't say its name right. The Bug Dragon that Lord and Savior, like Dan aka Drive, has been begging Pokemon to make for years, is finally getting his own. He's like, you know what? They can't make it. I'm going to make it. Beautiful looking design. It's a dragon. All dragons look good. I think Cloud Scorch is the best looking dragon. That's just me. Yeah, only at 7 costs though. And then you got Bulgaris, which is a Bulgaris thing, which gets +1 for each Thunder Ruin on the field. So, so it's instead of just like Thunder Enchanted, like, so if you have Zeus up there and the Thunderbolt of Zeus or your Stadium up, you can get, that's like 3 + 3, so you can go up to 5. It's not like Bulgaris or where you can get +1 for each Thunder Spirit on the field. So there's that. Arcalith, which is the Thunderlith. Like I said, I think we have like one or two. I think there's like two left. I know we'll have Dark. We'll have the Lunar Lith, and I think Air doesn't have a Lith yet. Or then you have Vera Tuca, Verataqua, Nexus. Javeluncan, very, very. They're toucans and they look pretty cool too. Toxiswarm, very, very devastating. The opponent must expand. For each, so basically, this would definitely be a deadly one for Nexusing. So if you happen to have this on the field, you bring up Exaltair, and you Nexus on, like if you have two Exaltairs on the field and you put this down, you Nexus with both of those onto this. That's going to be two that your opponent has to expend, and the Exaltair play as well. I think with Nexusing also makes you burn. So you're burning your opponent for a lot of spirits just by having Toxiswarm on the field with, say, like pairing it with Exaltair. So that is definitely one for aircasters to and then you got Cyclovenom, which is a heck of a name. You can special cast a Toxiswarm from your hand or deck. That's scary. Then we just got the Rhinymph, which is what it looks like here, close up. Beautiful looking card. That's definitely it's gonna be its it hasn't been uploaded yet, but that's the next one. On 63, 64, 65. Then you got our ruins here with Apollo. When you cast this Apollo, you can enchant up to 3 times. You can disenchant from this Apollo in order to foretell and add 3 and add 1 up to your hand, up to 1 solar celestial foretold this way to your hand. Now, this is going to be one of those things like that Equinix Frost Nexus. If you cast Apollo and you put 3 underneath of it, and you disenchant 1, you still have 3 underneath of it. Then they play that card the next turn in defense position and decide I'm going to Nexus onto it, or Nexus using its ability to Nexus and move cards around, flip that Apollo upside down, and you just lost those 3 spirits to your spirit deck. Which, with Keone, it would be interesting because losing those spirits for Keone to your Underworld would help a Cryoling become Cryovern. But everything else, it seems to be like it could be an issue. You get the Blood of Apollo. You got the Golden Fleece. First Light, which you search your deck for a Solar Celestial and put it in your top deck. Put it on top of your deck. Which is very, very interesting way to do that. Because basically what you would do is you would search a card, find it, put it down, and then shuffle your cards and then put it on top. So you know what you're getting the next turn. Now, obviously, the counter to this would be mill. Like you let your opponent do that, and then on your turn, you mill. You make them mill. So that card that they put up is the very first one they have to put in their Underworld. So like a Humbust or a Cinder or like any other ways you can do it to make them mill would be the way to counter the First Light. Temple of the Sun, which is the arena, +1/+1. Guardian of the Fleece. Don't know what 72 is. 73. Poison Tunic, which we actually got teased about in Frostfall with Cyanectar and its evolution, its ascension. That I don't know why they waited to bring it in this time, but Opponent Lestro gets -2 attack. When an opponent Lestro is destroyed in battle, the controller must be expend to attack. Two. It doesn't matter which ones, but 2 spirits, which could be very dangerous and very deadly. It's you play it on your turn. You say you have a Necroth in attack position on your side. They want to play this and knock it down to 3. And they have a 4 attack Celestial they put out there. They attack and destroy your Necroth, making you expend 2 in the process. Good way to burn them. And it's in the fact that it's colorless and not in Earth is very surprising. The Argo can only be cast after an unless declares an attack. You can cast artifact runes from your hand or deck, which is interesting because like if they declare an attack and you cast in a like so, yeah, that would be interesting how this goes. See that one in mudslide. Opponent disenchants a spirit from each of the runes. You may enchant earth and water to the field, which I don't know how that's gonna work. Don't know what 77 is. You got Crowd Blast, which we just learned about. Target Elestral must not. That is not. Yeah, all that. Bloom. Nexus, a Earth Nexus card that is just a counter. This is a counter rune, obviously. If you do, you may enchant Earth to an Celestial on your field. This is definitely going to be great for those Earth beatdowns and Earth decks that you have out there. Don't know what 80 is. 81. We got Lestragon. That's a full art. Nothing. These are all going to be full arts here. We got Foster Cell, which that is a beautiful looking full art. I figured. I mean, like, he's been begging for a dragon bug type in Pokemon for years. He's gonna make one in his game. Obviously, it's gonna get a full art, which is beautiful. I'm sure it's gonna probably be one of the Stellars too, because if we know anything, Adriel loves all that, and nothing else has been revealed just yet. So yeah, we go all the way through these, and then we got Larvacell Stellar here, which looks pretty great as well. Which, like I said, like full art Phosphorcell, I absolutely believe will be there'll be a Stellar Phosphorcell, whether it's here or wherever. It's gonna be a Stellar he's gonna have out. But that is gonna be all for this. Look, like tomorrow we're just gonna do the reactions to the video, and that's it. But hit that subscribe button, comment down below, like or dislike this video, and I will see you guys on the next one.